Patagonia jacket was probably the wrong choice for good audio. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Tedward, and I want to give a special shout out and thank you to my Patreon supporters. That is super cool. It's the dead of winter in New England now, which really sucks. I've already got a little bit of a cold, so I apologize for my voice. It's probably a little crackly, and I'm gonna sound like a 14-year-old boy. But more importantly, this is the time of year when auto manufacturers are starting to release a lot of cars. There's stuff coming out, and we tend to have this itch all the time to be car shopping. Nothing we own is ever good enough. We've either got to replace it or modify it. And I am so guilty of always needing a new car. So let's pretend instead of sitting in this cold BMW in a parking lot, that I'm actually sitting at home enjoying a nice cup of coffee on a winter's day with someone I care about. So for some of you, you absolutely do need a new car. You're driving some rat trap, you've got cash on hand, and maybe you don't even like your car. So just go do it, but don't overextend yourself. But for most of us in the car community, we've got something that we like, we've got something that we care about, but there's always something else. There's always something that's piquing our interest. For me, that's the M3 competition, the F80, that's the M2 competition, that's the 911 991.1 Carrera S, kind of a shitty budgetary issue, but 75 grand for killer naturally aspirated 3.8, not bad. And in my winter daydreams, I'm still here dreaming about a Corvette Grand Sport manual because you can take the roof off and that's really cool. But every morning I wake up and realize that this is all stupid. I don't need a new car. This M3 is fantastic. It does all the things I want it to do, and all I have to do is lightly modify it to make it more of a monster on the racetrack. For example, I can throw on a 275 square tire setup and pretty much be a monster on track without adjusting much. Why are we buying a new car? Is it just because we're impatient? Is it just because we're unhappy and we're trying to fill this void? Or is it because we've got this fantasy of a cars and coffee event where you roll in that brand new, let's say Supra, just to piss everybody off. Everybody's looking, they know that you're the one who got the allocation and you get sent to the top of the hill. You know, I get that. It's super dreamy and super fun, and I had an allocation for a 911 Carrera T. That was an exciting prospect because it was a new car, it was cheaper than a GT3. Obviously it's not a GT3, but it still had some exclusivity and cool factor. The reality of that though is it would have sucked in as a daily driver because I would have ordered it with like the lightweight GT2 RS glass, which means I wouldn't have a window defroster. I would have ordered it with the carbon buckets, which means I wouldn't have heated seats. Our fantasy isn't always a good reality. And in fact, I think we definitely allow ourselves to omit creature comforts because we think race car all the time. The next thing I want to talk about is future cars. Every time you don't buy something and you take that free cash flow, invest it in something, even if it's just something little, like a CD, or just putting it toward your retirement in a Roth IRA, or contributing more to your 401k, or some mutual funds that you have as short-term investments, etc. That's money that's going to grow for you, and that's money that's going to allow you to have something better in the future. So this is probably more of a therapeutic video for myself because I'm constantly shopping for cars, and the M3 has been so good to me. This is a killer daily driver, although the fuel economy is garbage. I have all the parts I need from FCP Euro. In fact, I've got a box in the trunk right now because I'm gonna be doing an oil change soon. I've also got a DCT flush coming, or flush, it's just changing the fluid. But Wild Motorsport's gonna be doing that. And that's the thing, to have a car like this, where, yeah, it's a little bit exotic with this 8,600 RPM Redline V8, it's not that bad to maintain. I mean, it would be fun to go out and buy a GT3, but like, I'm not gonna daily a GT3. I drive a lot, and this car kind of ticks all the boxes. It's not perfect in every sense, but then nothing is. And that's why we have multiple car garages. So do your best to be financially savvy this winter. It's fine to shop, it's fine to look, but the more you shop and the more you look, the more you start to convince yourself that this is normal and that it's okay. And maybe for you it is, but I know for me, I would rather not have to worry about money and just enjoy the cars that I own. So in the comments below, tell me what daydreams you're having. Tell me what are the worst financial decisions you've considered justifying to yourself just to get into a new car. That's all I got. Thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to respect the drive.